Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to be taking a closer look at the two hardcovers for I Hate Fairyland. So let's take a closer look at the books themselves and then we can come back and discuss my thoughts overall. These are oversized hardcovers by Image Comics, and their spines are quite interesting actually, in the sense that it is a somewhat squared off spine, but it is soft, like a lot of the Marvel Omnibus and things. So when you open the book out, it does lean down a little bit from here. So if you're balancing quite the book on your hand like this, you could find that you're going to indent the spine itself, because it's not a hard physical spine to the book. It is a softer kind of material there, so it's just something to be aware of. If you're going to be holding it in your hands or pushing it against a bit while the book's open, that could end up being a little bit indented or kind of damaged through doing that. Being careful and, not throwing the book about, you'll probably be okay, but it's just something I wanted to kind of note. But as I say, the spine of the binding of the book is sewn, so it curves up really well, and I didn't have an issue reading it at all. It did take a little bit more stretching than some of the other books I've had. I think it was just a slightly tighter bind, so you can find that if I let this loose up, it does kind of pull back just a little bit, but not anything that caused any kind of issues for me. Both these books have very similar overall designs, front spines and back, but they're the two kind of bright colours, I guess, for Gertrude herself. So let's just have a look, say, inside book one. I'm going to skip through this in chunks a little bit because I don't want to spoil any specific story. I just want to give you guys an idea of what the book kind of looks like. So we get various breakdowns of different panels if they're doing different things. So this is like time's passing. So at this point, she's fell asleep, and the time that she's been asleep, he's kind of gone through building a house, essentially. And this is like a skull man's lair. And as I say, his entire body is built up of skulls. So you've got a skull chest, skull kind of lock, skull shoulder, skull head, like literally everything. The art is awesome. There's just nothing to complain about as far as that's concerned. It's just awesome. And then if we skip to the back, so we've got some variant covers. And then a script for issue 6. So it's giving you the actual script and the original inks, which is cool. And then some original sort of concept art, different colours for Gertrude and our creators overall. So as I said, I'm not going to spoil anything in book 2, but just to show you guys, it is the same. The spine lifts up really well and the art style is very similar. Well, it's the same. This is definitely an interesting book to discuss overall. The basic premise is that you've got this young kid, Gertrude, I believe, and she's been pulled into Fairyland, and the general idea is that you get a quest of something to kind of do in order to get a key, and then you get out of Fairyland, usually within sort of 1 to 2 days, or what feels like 1 to 2 days worth of sort of time. The premise of this book is that Gertrude basically doesn't manage that,
gets very bitter, and I believe about 30 years passes while she's in fairyland. So she looks like a young kid, but is essentially an old woman in this young kid's body, and has started sort of delving into the more adult side of things. So she's annoying all the various characters in fairyland, she's drinking, she's killing, she's doing all sorts of kind of just crazy wackiness as the kind of book goes throughout. I would say that probably the first sort of hardcover is a lot more spontaneous and kind of new feeling than the second arc. The second arc is still really fun and good kind of read, but it does feel like they're trying different takes on the same kind of storyline as things go on. So the first sort of book, we have obviously Gertrude's story of what she's doing, and then we have a further kid introduced and kind of the competition between the two of them. And in the sort of second book, we go much more into sort of just any and every way that she could try to escape fairyland, and any and every way that someone in fairyland could be trapping her there. And it's all fun and interesting, and I really enjoy all the sort of somewhat censored swearing for fairyland, saying sort of fluffing and stuff like that's quite funny. The art's really bright and fun, and there's elements where she'll be sort of going around somewhere, and then you kind of pan out and get to see, you know, where she actually is. And it's just, yeah, a good, fun, interesting book. There's a skull kind of king bad guy at one point, and literally his entire body is made up of skulls. He's got kind of skull kneecaps, a skull head, a skull chest plate, skull arms. He's sitting on a throne of skulls. Like, if you could literally hit the nail on the head, like that's what he looks like. And it's really funny to, as I see some of these designs and just different things throughout the kind of book overall. It is definitely adult toned, although they do have, as I say, sort of censorship in the sense of, you know, saying sort of fluffing instead of swearing. It is definitely still an adult book and aimed very much at an adult audience. So if you think more along the lines of sort of a sort of South Park sort of Family Guy audience, rather than a sort of Simpsons audience, as far as who we're kind of aiming at here. And yeah, just a great book overall. Can't really kind of complain. A lot of comics recently have been adapted for either sort of live action or animated TV shows. But I think in this case, this would actually translate really, really well to a sort of cel-shaded computer game. I think it'd be really fun to play as Gertrude in Fairyland and be the one trying to sort of escape. I think it could be quite a fun ride for them to do that. I don't know if that's in any way on the cards, but if Scotty or anyone involved in the sort of creation in this is watching this video or sees this in some way, there's an idea for you. I think, you know, you've got a great IP on your hands, and it'd be really interesting to kind of see how that kind of goes, because the humour is just so dark, but it's such a fun, bright book, which is, as I say, it's just great. I can't really say much more than that. Alright guys, thanks for watching this closer look. As always, comment below, let me know what you thought of this book, and if you haven't read it already, if you're planning on picking it up off the back of this review, which sort of format you're planning on picking it up in, and maybe why. You know, it'd be interesting to see what your kind of preferences are. As always though, hit that subscribe button and notification bell if you want to be notified as and when videos drop in future, and to know as and when sort of doing live streams as well, because it's one of the few ways that you know that I'm going live. Thanks for watching guys, I'll see you next time.